On this side of the building, we have overhead heaters, and it's what I would call partially enclosed with this fabric. What we're talking about doing, when I talk about the cassette enclosures, has been an idea that would have a cassette enclosure along the ceiling from this post to this post, and a different one from this post to this post. Here's that first post outside. So if we did that, it would essentially connect this part, this narrow room, with these doors that open wide, these double doors that fold flat. It would essentially connect this area with this area with a heater up above, which is already wired for 209 or 220. So we would have a enclosure, cassette drop down enclosure. One of them that would go from this post over here, again, that's outside, to this post. And there would be another one from this post to that post. Those are 15 feet 6 inches apart from one another. Yeah, and you would go through these doors, and essentially that area joins this area. So the 15 feet from here straight across to over here, 15 feet 6 inches actually. It's the height is different from here than it is right here. So essentially part of the construction would be to build a little piece of fascia there that's solid to hold the cassette flat. We did that ourselves over here, although this one's running from the building out. So you can see it starts there, gets thicker as it gets to the side. So this drawing from a little while back shows the distance from post to post here. Here's the height, 10 foot 2 inches at its lowest point. And over here where the columns are, it's 10 foot 7. So not a big difference there. So it just needs to be, a piece needs to be built to essentially create a flat surface for the cassette to mount to. That's not the only way to do it. We could buy a mounting bracket for the cassette that drops down further on one side than it does on the other, and then some sort of piece of fascia would need to be put at the top so all the heat doesn't just run out of the top of the unit. That would be acceptable also. The other piece of that project would be to build a piece that goes from here to here, and that down from that would drop what we call the meat locker. So the clear plastic slats that you can kind of walk through. It would keep the heat inside of this area. And that's what we did ourselves over here on this side. So we built this ourselves a while back. It has these little brackets up there to mount the meat lockers on. And I already have a vendor for the brackets and for what we call the meat locker doors, plastic doors that drop down. As with most construction projects, the devil's in the details. So exactly where the wall would attach is kind of an important issue, because there's a cement block on the bottom, and then there's these recessed fins, and it'd be better not to drill into these fins if we didn't have to. The Rainier guys were gonna put a device here. It's gonna have like a zipper on each side. The zipper goes up, all the way up to the ceiling, and then there's one of those on this side, and then there's one on that side. And they were going to tuck it behind this fin. Their install guys never came out, but that's, they did visit twice and make drawings and that kind of stuff. And that seems to be that would be the best case. It would look the best too from the inside. So there'd be one going that way. The other would go from this post 15 feet 6 inches to the inside fin of that side. And then again, from over here, there'd be a meat locker, a clear meat locker door there, and a clear meat locker door here, and just tie it all together. These doors in that case would be left open and flat most of the time. Even in the winter, I think a lot of the times we'd leave it open, and we would mount our heater up here where we installed fresh wiring and such when we built the joint.